Hi everyone, I would like to show you how to make this dress for a Barbie doll, and I am going to be doing it in 2 steps. I've decided to do first part of the tutorial as a skirt, and then the second part of the tutorial will show you how to make a top. So this is a skirt. I have made it with a size 11 beads using the netting stitch. And this doll is a Barbie Petite Fashionista Wear Your Heart number 81 model. And this is the original blouse she came in. So I've just decided, okay, I will try the blouse, the original blouse with the skirt, and then I think she looks rather cute. So the first part of the tutorial will be to make the skirt. I will upload the instructions separately. And for the second part of the tutorial, I will show you how to create the top portion of the dress. And maybe if you like to create a necklace, you can do that as well. As you can see, the original dress is made using primarily one color. However, I've added a second color as highlight around the neckline. In the instructions, I have used 2 colors because I wanted to add a bit of pattern to the skirt and maybe to the top as well. But I've used 2 colors, and these are size 11 beads. The first one is the Diamond Glass Beads, Japanese brand, DGBs. The second color I use is the Miyuki 11401 FR, and that is an opaque matte abe black bead. I use a John James beading needle, size 10. And I also use Fireline, a 6-pound line. At the brand I buy is 0.15 millimeter. So, I'll get the instructions together and we can start beading. Okay, let's get started, shall we? I have laid out a few beads. My main color, which is listed as A, my accent color, which is listed as B in the instructions. I've threaded my needle with a wingspan of Fireline, and I've also printed out the instructions. The instructions are available by following the link in the description below the video, and you will be taken to my website where you can just simply download the instructions and follow along. There are 3 pages. The first page is I've drawn a number of diagrams for the first 6 steps, and for the rest you will be beading according to the listing, to the number of steps that are listed here. Now, if you have never done tubular netting before, it is best for you to just do a practice piece before you actually start beading. The instructions look a bit coded, but trust me, once you've gotten the hang of it, it will become so easy that you will wonder why you've never done it before. Now, let's get started with the step 1. To begin, you will pick up a total of 60 beads, and I've drawn them in the order in which you will pick them up. You will pick up first 4 of the accent color, that is then 4B, and then you will pick up 14 sets of 1B and 3A. So you will have a total of 60 beads on the needle. And let's just start with that. So first 4B, and then 14 sets of 1B and 3A. 1B, 3A. That is 1. 1B, 3A. That's 2. 1B, 3A. That's 3. 1B, 3A. That's 4. 1B, 3A. That's 5. 1B, 3A. It helps if you count to make sure that you have the right number of beads as you go along, because if you don't, then you'll probably have to take them out and then start again. So I'll count the groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 14 groups of 1B and 3A. The next step, and this is the most important part I think of the whole thing, is to put it around the waist of the doll and then make a circle. But I can't do it since this one is already wearing a skirt, so I'll just make a circle. Once you have picked up all the beads you need in step 1, and you have counted and made sure that all the groups are alike as instructions, you can then put it around the waist of your doll. Now I have used up both of my petite models, so I have to use this old doll body, which I keep as a spare for testing designs and sizing. So you put it around the waist of the doll. You pass through the first bead, the first B. Let me get that for you. And then just pull it gently and tightly, because you want the beads to be sitting close to each other. You're not going to tie the thread. You just basically keep the tension a bit tight. And this, you just by holding it in your hand, and then you can just move your fingers to the edge of the bead just to hold it in place. Now, then we begin with step 2. And the second step is pick up 3B. So that is 3 of the accent color. I skip over 3 beads in the group, and then pass through the 4th bead. Yes, it is a bit slippery, so it slides a bit, but you just have to hold it properly and it will stay in place. So 4, pass through the 4th bead. The next group, the next step of the instruction is 14 times 3A. So you pick up 3A, pass through the next B, and then repeat that 13 more times. Now let's have a go at it, shall we? Three, and then I'm passing through the next B. Okay, and then you do it again. 3 B's, 3 A's, skip over 3 beads and pass through the next B. And you just keep repeating that until you have gotten to the end of the row. I will stop the video here, and then at the end of the row I'll show you what to do. Okay, I'm now going to pick up the last group of 3A beads at the end. You sew into the bead from which you started, that is that first B, and then you pass further through the next 2 B beads. Since this is the first and second step, it doesn't really matter if you go through this one or this one, the top or the bottom, but as long as you're still going to be beading towards the bottom of the body and not the top. So that was the end of round 2. Now you're in place. As with any tubular stitch, you make the round and then you step up. And that was the step up. The step up at the end of every single row is passing further through the next 2 beads. At this point, you're ready to start step 3 because you're exiting that middle bead. This one. And that's the starting point for step 3. You take your instructions again. Look at step 3, the photos for step 3. And that is, we're going to be picking up 15 groups of 1A, 1B, 1A. So we're going to pick up one group of 3. We pass through the middle bead in the next row. In the previous row, that is on row 2, we pick up the same 3 groups, pass through the next middle bead in the next row, and continue around the entire circle of beads. Okay, let's get started. I will do 2, then I will stop the video, and then I'll come back at the end of the row. 1A, 1B, 1A. Pass through the next middle bead. Sometimes it is a bit slippery, so you have to give it a bit of encouragement, Sakmar. There you go. 1, 2, 3. And repeat. A, B, A. And it helps if you hold the piece of beadwork tight onto the body of the doll so it doesn't spin around as much. And I'll do a next one. A, B, A. Through the next middle bead. And I'll stop here and come back at the end of the round.